Everybody, welcome back to the Rebel Chums channel. Now, you might be watching this video and you're new to the custom lightsaber community. We all welcome you. I hope you have a great time enjoying the hobby. As I was openly welcomed in 2015 around The Force Awakens, when it had a massive boom in terms of people getting into the hobby of custom lightsaber collecting. And there's a few things that I want to bring across for you guys and girls that are just getting into custom lightsaber collecting. Now, in the past, and it's really important, there were a few scammers. There were a few sabersmiths that scammed people. They were famous, they were active on YouTube, like myself. They're making all these really cool videos and they really give you the hype, like, oh, okay, cool lightsaber, look at this, oh. And a lot of people start buying commissions from them. I'm not going to call names anymore, it's a long past. Whoever did that, there's a whole bunch of people that did that. Either way, they got drowned, too much work. Hundreds of people asking them, oh, can you do my lightsaber community commission? I want to have NeoPixel, I want to have an RGB setup, and and they say sure, because every time they did a commission with one of those customers, they got like a few $100 US, and maybe 100 to 150 to 200 US, just purely for commissioning, just the installation fees, etc. So it was making a lot of money. And yeah, they made literally between 70 to 150,000 US, and very soon they realized I'm way above it, into it, too much work, too much responsibility. I have a full-time job, I have kids, I have wife, I can't do all of that. And some of them, they just built out and disappeared. They took all the money, 140, 150,000 US, and disappeared. All the lightsabers that people send in for the commissions, etc., all the parts, all gone. They just in thin air, disappeared. Some other lightsaber smiths, they didn't do on purpose, but financially they just struck bad luck, and they allegedly needed the money, and they used the lightsaber commission money to actually pay off some bills, etc., and complicated situations. It ended up in being people. The consensus is people lost a lot of money, a lot of lightsaber parts, lightsabers they maybe had an emotional relationship with. Maybe they got it from their dad that died or whatnot. Really nasty stuff that happened to them in a way that they lost hundreds of US, they lost their precious lightsaber and whatnot, and it was horrible. It happened several times already. Okay, this is not an isolated incident, it happens quite often. So that's why I'm making this video for you guys and girls who are now getting into the hobby, brand new, is be very, very aware when you're gonna do a commitment with somebody on the internet, that they can fulfill that commitment, even if they're really famous and cool and fancy. Seriously, be very aware of that. Don't just commit. Also, myself included, I have a few things on my sleeve, and I'm gonna explain you why. So, buying secondhand lightsabers is a cool thing to do, because you can buy this. I bought this one secondhand for, I don't know, 125 US, when they normally retailed between 250, 300 US on Corbent, and I got it for 125 bucks. Nice deal. The thing is, people do need to send that lightsaber to you. They need to have the time and the funding to actually pay for the shipping costs in advance before they get the PayPal money and whatnot. And I'll ship it to you and a tracking number and all that good stuff. I had two isolated incidents where I shipped out secondhand lightsabers. One went to Sweden, I believe, got lost in the mail, and people were flipping out. I didn't know how to handle that thing, and I'm like, I didn't handle it correctly. I wasn't responding fast enough. PayPal eventually, people claimed their money back, and I'm like, shit, I can't do it. PayPal blocked my account because there was one person that tried to claim it, and eventually that person got his money back. It took a long time than I wanted it to, because I never intend to scam anybody. I never intend to do any harm or bad. It just was a bad situation. And then 3 months later, after the refund was done, the package arrived, the lightsaber arrived, and I was like, see, I was not cheating you. I really sent a lightsaber. But that sometimes happens, and people might in that case say, you're a scammer, dude. You tried to scam me, you son of a bitch. And that happened. And I also had an incident where I shipped one package to one guy way too late. That was on me. That was purely on me. I just didn't have the time. I was living in Hong Kong still, and I was just super busy. Private life came in, and I didn't treat it well enough. That was on me. And he received his package too late, and he was very upset on it, rightfully. And that's also a little bit what you have with custom lightsabers on the second-hand market, is that you have people that have the best intentions. They want to ship it out fast, but things coming across, and they're not used to doing that kind of stuff. They're not a business. Like, I'm not a business. Like, I don't know how to treat that the proper way, etc. So I had a learning curve there, and the ball curved right back at me. So you have to understand that when you're buying a second-hand lightsaber, you're dealing people that, in my situation as well, that they never deal with selling lightsabers, or they don't have much experience, or they just don't know all the etiquettes or how to do it properly. So be aware of that. It might also happen to yourself. Buying or selling second-hand lightsabers can at sometimes get a little bit of a less desirable effect. That is just the nature of it. We all have to move and learn. We have to all learn from that and move forward. I had a really nice video. I think it's maybe taken down already by myself. But one time I bought a lightsaber, and I received a little poop nugget, which was a little stone from a lady from Malta, near Spain, a small island. And I couldn't understand why I got this little stone, and till this date, I still believe firmly she was trying to cheat me and scam me. And eventually I got my money back after a lot of persuasion and a bit of aggression from my end, because that wasn't right. But yeah, it happens. So negative things might happen, but also a lot of positive things happen, because I got a lot of lightsabers secondhand without any issues. If you need a list of sellers that I think they're fantastic and they're really trustworthy, let me know in the comments. I also got issues where I bought lightsabers, they never showed up. People say, send it. Like my case, I say, send it, never send it. Do a refund with PayPal, get over it, and just move on. It happens sometimes, okay? It is what it is. So that being said, buying secondhand lightsabers, be aware of that. If you're in the lightsaber community, you want to do commission, do more research about the person you're going to do the commission with, and be very worried about your money, your products, and the things that you agree with such sabersmith or saber installer. In the community, sometimes they are referred to instasmiths, those ones that are train wrecking stuff. They're making a mess, bad installs, bad product delivery, damage to the hilts, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, you definitely don't want to just send your expensive lightsaber commission for a couple of $100 or maybe thousands of US dollars to some butcher that's just not experienced to do that stuff. So be very aware of that. If you're part of the lightsaber communities, this hobby is very addictive, and you get into it very deeply, very fast. Like, you will deep dive into the custom lightsaber collecting section of it. Like, it's really addictive, it's amazing, I love it. But you get drawn into the community really fast, and the community, it's a bit of a interesting community. Like, we have interesting people in the community, like, that is a given. We have people of all walks of life in the community, and there's a good chunk of people that are really diehard Star Wars fans, including myself. And at times they can be perceived a bit awkward, a bit weird, a bit aggressive, a bit defensive. and toxic, and that is something you have to be willing to be part of, because you will see it, you will get exposed to it at times, and that is just the nature of being into this hobby and the type of people in this hobby, because we're super passionate about it. Like most of us in those lightsaber communities on Facebook, etc., they're super passionate about it. They're already doing it for several years or longer, maybe a decade. They're into custom lightsaber collecting and whatnot. And yeah, if you're new, just try to listen and just absorb all the information, whatever people say on the left side, what people say on the right side, and over time draw your own conclusions, etc. What you think is what is truth, what is the best, etc. That is up to you. But yeah, be aware of that. It can be a bit of a hard community at times. There's some ruffled feathers at times. That is how it goes. That's what it is. We're very passionate Star Wars fans. That comes with people that are, yeah, in all kinds of stages of fandom. So you need to be aware of that. What else we got is just enjoy it, and in the end, if you make a decision to go for a certain brand or model, that's your decision, period. There's a lot of versus, because all kinds of things under the surface that also plays along. It's not just I like this brand over another brand. There's discounts behind the curtains. Behind the curtains, there's always a bit more. That certain people are really in the camp of this brand or that brand and blah blah blah. So you're gonna experience that, and that is what it is. So, and mainly Alter Sabers versus Saber Forts versus Vader's Fold, and those are the biggest three where you're gonna hear a lot in the community over like, oh, you need to really buy Vader's Fold because this and this and this, and in the end you might just say, well, I just like that Alter Saber's hilt design more than anything, or Vader the Saber Forts or whatever. Then just go for whatever you like most, of course. But people do always try to warn you, and rightfully, of course. There's a lot of weird stuff that happened in the past with these individuals that started lightsaber companies, because it all started from nothing. They were not very really business savvy people in the beginning. They just like people that like Star Wars lightsabers, and they build lightsabers, and they build a company around that at some point. So there's stuff in the past that happened that might be brought up from time to time. Actually, it happened quite often where people bring up dust again. It is what it is. So that is something that you need to be aware of. And for the rest, it's not all doom thinking. It's not all negative. It's a lot of fun, and it's a fantastic community and a fantastic hobby. I'm in it for, as I said, 2015. Yeah, it's almost 5 years now that I'm actively collecting lightsabers, actively active on the YouTube channel, and doing a lot of lightsaber reviews and whatnot. I just love it. I love Star Wars. I can't help it. I'm in for good. I was always in for when I was younger, just my teens. I couldn't do that, of course, because I was not the cool guy if I was collecting my Star Wars toys. It's different in Europe, maybe than in the US or in Japan or in Asia, but in Europe, that's not gonna fly, boy. If you wanna get girls, etc., you're not gonna end up collecting toys, etc. In that time period, it was just not done. It was before being nerd was cool. Being nerd was just being nerd, and you got beat up. That was how it still went back then. So yeah, enjoy being part of the community. Enjoy custom lightsabers, and yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take care, guys. Bye.